live stream. All right, can you hear me now? Is there any volume? Let's see if this works because I think I did everything I could possibly. Oh, I am now. I think I've done everything I can possibly do to figure it out. I mean, at this point, it wouldn't be a Tiffany Live if there weren't any technical difficulties. I mean, I feel like I'm just going to embrace it at this point. Like holy cow. Oh my gosh, seriously. And yes, there may be a little bit of an echo, and I apologize. Maybe if I open a window. So I am, yes, there may be a slight echo in my voice because I am currently in a large family gathering space of my home. This is the room that has the best internet connection. And unfortunately, it is a large room. And so it may have a little bit of an echo to it. So I'm going to try to lower my voice slightly to dampen that echo a little bit. But yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to my Tuesday Live. I am so happy you're here. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. Really just, I think it would be a great time for us to just kind of take a breather and hang out and really just chat, because honestly, the last 2 months, I'd say the last 2 months have been a whole lot of adjusting for me. It's been a huge adjusting period. And I wanted to just, I mean, I can talk a little bit about tutorials coming up, though I don't want to say a specific date and then it takes longer for us to get that video out. I'm going to explain that actually a little bit, but I want to just kind of talk about what's been going on with my channel the last 2 months and the amazing obstacles, we'll call them obstacles, that I've had to overcome and learn and figure out, and the things behind a YouTube channel. You know, I crochet. Crochet is my thing. Crochet is what I love. It's my passion. It's what gets me excited. You know, it's the creative side of me that just bursts out there, and I just love creating patterns and designs, and I love being able to show you how to do it, you know, share with you how to do all these things that I know how to do. And the experiences that I've had, the things that have worked for me, and some of the projects that I do, some of you really like, and I think that is super cool. And so when it comes to the content aspect of my YouTube channel, oh my gosh, I have that dialed. I love what I do, and I have enough content to last years. What I'm not prepared for is the tech side. The tech side of YouTube is ever growing, ever changing, always trying to get better. But in the process of getting better, then everything changes, everything evolves and morphs, and you have to figure it out. And that's what I've been facing the last 2 months. Is I upgraded my space, right? I got my new studio space, and then I realized that my internet is not compatible with my router stuff and isn't able to reach my studio. And I'm like, that's swell. Great. And so we're figuring out internet. And so that's why I'm up here in this different echoey space. And again, I really apologize for the echo. But then on top of that, it's like all of the data. There are brand new features when it comes to video, brand new features that offer better quality, sharper images, better zoom capability, and all these things that I want for you. I want to provide better videos that are easier on the eyes, more entertaining to watch, you know, and just better quality. But what I didn't realize was in order to have better quality videos, it takes a lot of data. And so I'm recording these videos, and it's almost taking a full day for me to transfer the video files to my editor. so that they can edit the video. And then it takes them a long time to take that video with the new large files and then upload it. And it's become a thing that we're trying to work around. And I've learned so much patience. I've learned so much patience, guys, in the fact of, I would rather have a really good quality video for you than and get, have this train, slowly chug, 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 and then pick up momentum and have my more consistent schedule that I really want. I mean, it's killing me right now that my videos aren't hitting the schedule, but at the same time, I'm like, better quality. And then it's going to start getting there, and then the train will start going and I'll be more consistent. So I apologize for my videos being a little inconsistent in the timing right now. And that's why I was like, guys, usually my technique or my Tuesday lives, I go over the videos coming out this week, but I think I really want to go over kind of what has been put out and what I'm predicted to put out next, but I don't know exactly when it will release on my channel, depending on the amount of data and how long it takes to get everything uploaded. It will be on there. I have videos coming. It's a transition. It's a transition period to get you guys better videos, better quality that I know you deserve. So lots of love right there. All right, so let's go ahead and start this live the way we always do. The lives will start. Welcome everybody to my lives. If you've never been to my live before, the lives start off with me kind of going over some announcements. Then I talk about what's happening this week. And then at the end, I go over a Q&A session where I answer your questions and we get a chance to really hang out and vibe. And at the very end of the live, I have a slideshow of pictures followers have sent to me of their work that they are currently working on. And I get so proud of you guys. And I may have missed a couple. I put up there everything that I currently found. I think it's all new. It's not the stuff from before. But it's just really, really fun for me to share your work and give you guys a shout out. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I'd like to introduce Hannah. Hannah is my moderator. I love this chick. She is awesome. She's my best friend, and she is helping me in the chat. So everyone say hi, Hannah. Hi, Hannah. So if you have a question and Hannah pops up, she is my person. She's my moderator. And what she will do if you have a question is she will take a picture of your question and she will text it to me. That way, when I get to that portion of this live, I can go through a quick, what she has sent me and not have to spend time wasting time reading through the chat, finding questions. It is also super, super helpful if you do have a question, if you start the question with a bunch of question marks, because it kind of draws the eye, it creates some attention. So that's really, really cool too. All right. So yeah, so again, I apologize for the technical difficulties of today, but at this point, I'm just like, it wouldn't be a live from me without any technical difficulties. Okay, so today is huge. Today, you're going to get a lot of content from me on my YouTube channel. So I have this amazing live that we are doing together, hanging out, chilling. And then after this, earlier today, my Popsicle baby blanket border released. Yes, I love this border. It is so, so pretty. And I love, love, love that it can really work with any blanket. It really can because of the 1-to-1 stitch ratio. It doesn't have a stitch count requirement. It'll really work on any blanket as long as you can work in the sides of the blanket. And I mean, I'm sure you could figure out a way to work it around a circular blanket. But yeah, I love 1-to-1 ratio blankets. They're just really, really convenient and you don't have to think about math so much when it comes to them. And it worked up so beautifully in the fact that it complements the blanket without taking anything away. Oh, Michelle, you're the best. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for supplies to make us great stuff. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. And so you distracted me. I lost my train of thought. yeah, so the border, I think it's just thick enough where it's complementary. It doesn't steal the show from the main body of the blanket. In fact, I feel that this border really kind of helps, present the inner body of the blanket, really lift it up and make it beautiful. And so I really like it. And I have heard a lot of your comments in my social media and even in my YouTube posts that I have posted, that you guys have really enjoyed it too. So I hope you like the video. And if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check it out. Also, shout out, big, huge tip. Shortly after this live tonight, my mystery box giveaway is going live. Yes, it is. So mystery box giveaway is going to go live tonight, right after this live. Look out for the video, and make sure you do everything you need to enter it. I'm very, very excited about this one. I'm always excited about my mystery box giveaways. So this is going to be great. It starts today. So yeah, look out for that video after this. And then either late tonight or tomorrow, the Technique Tuesday crochet stitch will come out. It is the Shells and Cords crochet stitch. Now, I did a video on the Shells and Cords crochet stitch blanket a long time ago. It's an oldie but a goodie, one of those that people find and they're like, oh, I've made this so many times, or it's perfect, it's dainty, it has a lot of detail, but it's surprisingly easy. Very interesting. And I love that. I love crochet stitch patterns that they look complicated, but they're not at all, because then you look like this huge guru, like, yeah, I'm so incredibly amazing at crochet. And you're like, shh, it's super easy. Don't tell anybody. So what I did with the stitch when I was teaching the stitch is I gave you the stitch count requirement. So that way you could take that stitch, the Shells and Cords crochet stitch, and do whatever you want with it. And honestly, I've seen people do such amazing things with it. I've seen shawls with it, tops with it. I've seen pillows. I've seen, oh, what else? Bags, baskets. I've even seen gloves, the wrist part of gloves with the Shells and Cords crochet stitch. And it's just really neat, all of the different ways that you can use it. And now that you have the stitch count requirement, you will know how to take it and play with it and do whatever you want with it. So I'm very excited about that. You've got the power. Make myself a little more comfortable. And then, so that will either come out late tonight or tomorrow, just because of how the tutorials have been hitting. Like I mentioned before, I'm a slow moving train right now, getting the new software, the new tech figured out. And then once it gets going, then I'll be my fast moving train again. This Friday, the tutorial that is supposed to come out is the teeny weeny. The teeny weeny giraffe. Isn't he cute? Oh my goodness. So I am going to be doing a line of teeny weenies, and it might take me a little while to get every one of them out, because again, I have so many tutorials that I want to get out to you guys. But depending on how well he does on my channel, I have a bunch of other characters in line to create with you guys. Now, the inspiration for the teeny weeny came for a couple of reasons. One, I love stuffed animals. I do. I just love stuffed animals. But sometimes stuffed animals can take a long time to make, and I want something fast and something easy. And that is what these are, fast and easy. What else? The other inspiration was, that is something a lot of us want. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people. They want to make stuffed animals. They want to make toys for babies, toys for kids. And quick and easy is the way to go, right? So I'm going to get creative with quick and easy. Super fun. Okay, another reason I was inspired is because I've had a couple of you comment to me that you want to sell crochet stuff. And the holidays are coming up. And honestly, holiday events are the money makers. They are, because people need, it's a need. People need to buy something. They need to buy that Christmas present. They need to buy that gift. It's when those events are when young families go together to support some function, and the kids all need to buy each other a gift. And so mom and dad are like, here, you got $10, go buy them a gift, you know, and there's that need. People have that urgency to buy. So holiday events are the way to go. Toys never stay on my table. Whenever I did holiday events, the stuffed animals were the first to go, because they're a toy, they're a gift to give to somebody. So but the thing is, if you make just any stuffed animal, it can take time and it can take a lot of money in supplies to create that thing. So I was like, how can I make a quick, easy stuffed animal that someone can just bust out, you know, bust out a whole bunch? And so that is where my teeny weenies are going to come in. Oh my gosh, these are going to be very awesome. So that is supposed to be Friday's tutorial. Fingers crossed that it'll get out. It's going to be a long video because of all the pieces involved. And don't be afraid of the small sections. I really took into consideration the pieces and people having difficulty crocheting small things. And I think the only thing that might become that issue are the ears. But you're like, Tiffany, what about the horns? You know, and I'm like, nope, I actually did something really cool with the horns to avoid that, which I can't wait for you to see. But so yeah, I'm very excited about him. I hope you are too. The materials I used to make him, just in case you want to get ready. I used Loops and Threads Impeccable yarn in the color yellow and barley brown. So those are the two colors. You can have fun and use whatever colors you want. You can make them pink and purple or blue and green. We used your scrap yarn if you want. It's a size 4 weight worsted medium Aran 10-12 ply or 8 WPI sized yarn. And I would say comparable yarns that you could use would be Vanna's Choice yarn. I love this yarn. Even Red Heart yarn would work for this guy. And you're like, oh, Red Heart. Yeah. It's a toy. It's not something you're going to wear. It's not something, it's not like a blanket that you're going to put over your body. It's a toy, and it's a little toy. So if you want to use Red Heart Super Saver, you could, honestly, you could. But I liked these colors a lot. And then you're going to need polyfill for the inside, 2 button eyes. These are 4 millimeter diameter or a 1/2 inch diameter eyes, but use whatever eyes you want. If you don't want to use buttons at all, you can sew on or like embroider that sleeping animal kind of look if you want, or embroider on an eye. What else do you need? What else do you need? I put in there possibly going to want, I put the glass beads in here again. You know, those fish tank big glass beads. I put 3 glass beads in them because I like when the stuffed animals have weight to them. There's something about a stuffed animal that is so light that it has no substance to it that just bothers me. I like having a little bit of weight. I don't know, it's something for me, but that's optional. A stitch marker, because you work in continuous rounds for some of these, the main body part, and sometimes a stitch marker can come in handy. But I think that's it. I think that's everything involved in him. And of course, I'll have the list in the pattern and in the description section and comment section below the video. So you'll have access to everything that I used right there. All right. So yeah, that's him. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask that below. Hannah already has a bunch of things for me. Awesome. I love it. All right. It is 7:26. Let's go ahead and spend some time together, guys. Let's hang out. Let's go ahead and just take it easy. Hi. All right. Some questions I have. All right. Lovely. Miss Hannah. Oops. I got Christine. What is the must-have tool to have for people who crochet? Okay, aside from the things like your hooks and yarn and scissors and yarn needle, if that is something that some people actually don't know they need a yarn needle. So yarn needle, must have. But if you're thinking like other tool, I would probably recommend either a yarn ball roller, so that way you can get all the knots out of your yarn and keep your stash clean, and it can make the process a lot smoother and easier for you while you're crocheting if you wind the ball in a yarn ball roller first. That way, yeah, it just takes a lot of those knots out for you. But also I would say either a yarn bowl or a bag that holds your yarn in place for you, that you can pull the yarn out the top, something to hold your yarn. So that way it can stay put while you're using it, and you can just pull and keep going and pull and keep going. That is something that I have run into before, where I'm on the couch or I'm just somewhere crocheting and I have the yarn next to me and I pull and I end up pulling the yarn and it ends up on the floor and down the floor and under the couch. And I'm like, it's dirty under there. You know, and it's like, dang it. And then I don't know. What yarn bowl? Oh, Christine, here we go. I'm going to show you. What yarn baller do you recommend? Okay, so I did make a video on this. Yes, check out my channel on the yarn ball rollers, the winders, and the umbrellas, or the oh guys, I'm having a brain fart. What is it called? The umbrella thingies. What's it called? What's it called? I'm looking for you guys. Help me out. Yeah, it's like wooden or plastic, and they get really big, and you put your yarn on it, and Swift. Thank you. Thank you, JJ. He saved me. Thank you, Cindy, the Swift. Yeah, so I did a video on that, and I think I even recommended some of my faves that I would recommend people have. I mean, again, it's one of the things, you don't have to have it. You can definitely crochet and get through this amazing hobby without it, but I think it makes life a lot easier to have a yarn ball winder, and then something also to keep your yarn in place while you're using it. So that is something I think would be awesome. Oh, JJ, you're like, I forgot what it was called too. All right, Samantha, question. Can we use a size 4-weight yarn for the Popsicle blanket border? Okay, so it depends on the size yarn you use for the inner body of the blanket border, or of the blanket. What I recommend is, I highly recommend that you always use the same size yarn on the border, whatever border it is, the same size yarn in the border that you used in the inner body of the blanket. Now, I'm not saying you have to use the same color. I'm not saying you have to use the same brand. I'm saying the same size. And why is that? I say that because if you change the size of the yarn, Jody, thank you so much. Love you, girl. Lots of love for all your love for us, and keep going in spite of the issues. I mean, you're amazing. Thank you so much, Jody. Guys, distracts me. Okay. Yeah, so the border. If you have a different size yarn for your border than you do the inner body of your blanket, then you're working your stitches. If it's a smaller yarn, then the stitches end up having to travel further between stitch places, and then you are crunching your blanket because the border is thinner than the main body. So you're making your stitches, and it's going to make your blanket like crunch a little bit. Or if the yarn you're using for the border is bigger than the yarn you used for the inner body, then it'll be too big for the stitches and they'll crowd, and then all of a sudden you'll get that ruffling. So it ultimately is kind of like taking away stitches or adding stitches by changing the size of the yarn for your border than what you used in the inner body. That is the experience I've had. That is logically what I could see happening. Now, if the yarns are super close and the border isn't, or like you do, if it was, say, a one size difference, you may add a chain space between the stitches to make it work. Or if you were doing some interesting pattern, you could make it work. I mean, technically, you could probably figure out one scenario where it would be fine, but I would try to stay with the same size yarn. So if you want to use a size 4 weight yarn for your border, my question for you would be, what size weight yarn did you use on the inside of the blanket, the main body? Okay. If you used a size 4 weight on the main body, then go for it. They're the same size, so you're good. So yeah, that's my opinion, and that is, you know, with my experience, what I've run into. So hopefully that helps. Okay, Kimberly, welcome. I'm so glad to see you here. I feel like you're here every Tuesday. I recognize you, which I think is super awesome. Very cool. All right. Hi, Tiffany. I'm working with a 6 weight yarn. Would it be a good idea to use the same yarn weight for a border, for a blanket, or to mix it up? Oh, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with what I just answered with Samantha. Yeah, use the same weight yarn for the border. Highly recommend, especially when you get that bulky, that big. If you were to do any other size, it would be very obvious, very obvious. All right, Teresa, having a hard time understanding which chain to work the next double crochet. Okay, hold on. Having a hard time understanding which chain to work the next double crochet in after, oh, a front post crochet is made. Please help. I get it. You know, it's funny because I actually have to focus when I'm working stitches too, working post stitches, knowing, okay, so if the pattern is a front post double crochet stitch, and then the next stitch is a regular double crochet stitch, which might sound familiar if you made the heirloom Lost in Time baby blanket, because that was the border. What I do to figure out what stitch space was taken by the post stitch and what stitch is going to be the next stitch space that I work in is I look at the post stitch that I just made and I follow it up and I find the hole on the top of that double crochet that I just posted around. And then I know, okay, that one's taken, next one over. Now, I know it might be an extra step. It slows things down just a little bit because you have to look and you have to focus. And after a while, you can pick it up and you'll be like, okay, I get what's going on. And you may even be able to do this fun little rhythm count where you're like, skip one, this one, skip one, this one, skip one, this one, you know, like some kind of rhythm pattern. But yeah, that I run into the same thing. And that's what I do when I'm working post stitches right next to regular stitches is I have to take a second and really look and be like, okay, that like follow that post stitch double crochet like up and that hole, that stitch space is taken, next one over. So I hope that helps, Teresa. Heather, I'm like singing your names. Heather, why does Red Heart yarn got a bad vibe? Like what's wrong with Red Heart? I love it because it's economical and lovely varieties of colors. So honestly, Heather, you're going to hear this a lot. And I know that it's a thing. I know there's a debate. I know about the argument of the Red Heart, and I don't want to get into it. I really don't, because honestly, it's an opinion. And everybody has their opinion. I've had, here's my thing. Red Heart is cheap. It's inexpensive. So if it's going to be economically the best choice that you have, then go for it. We are now in the age where there are so many yarn choices, that we can be picky. And for me, I do a scrunch test where I'll take the yarn and I'll take my fingers and I'll bury my fingers into the yarn. I do this scrunch test and I ask myself, would I want to cuddle in this? And honestly, 9 out of 10 times, if I ever do that with Red Heart yarn, Super Saver, Red Heart Super Saver yarn, I don't want to cuddle with that. That's personal. That's me. I don't want to wear that. That's personal. That's me. When there are 20 other options down that aisle, I'm going to pick the one that I want to wear. I'm going to pick the one that I want to cuddle with, you know? And that's the thing with Red Heart. Now, Red Heart does have a lot of awesome options. A lot of awesome options. Like I mentioned, toys. What the heck? Use it for toys. You're not cuddling with that. Other options with Red Heart. There's a lot of things you can do with Red Heart. So much, different crafts even. But for me, blankets, wearables, beanies, gloves, even pillows. It's just not the fiber that I like, or there are other options out there that I like better. So I just go with the option I like better. That's all, really. However, I don't want to dig on Red Heart because Red Heart has some awesome yarns. Awesome yarns. Red Heart with Love. Red Heart Melange. Roll with It. Oh, I love the Red Heart Roll with It. Oh my gosh, there are so many different Red Heart types of yarn that are amazing. Oh, they're amazing. But when it comes to the Super Saver, it's just not my fave. Now, personal preference again. Personal. Some other people might be like, no, it's the best thing since sliced bread. Personal preference. Awesome. But again, I'd rather not get to, into that like debate because it's personal preference. Okay. Next question. One Time for You and Me. Cute name. You've probably answered this in the past. That's okay. You're having the question now. But do you have a favorite crochet hook? What type of or brand of hook do you suggest for someone starting out? Okay. I have answered that in the past. My favorite crochet hook is the cheapy, plain old boy, the BOYE. And you're like, boy, what? For someone who doesn't know brands. Yeah, it's just the cheapy aluminum, sleek, thin boy crochet hook. My favorite size is the H8 5mm crochet hook because I use it with most of the common projects that I make, blankets, pillows, tops. I could really make almost anything with an H8. I really could. And I personally like that one because I like my crochet hook. I like aluminum because it has a little weight to it. I like a little bit of weight to my crochet hook. I like the sleek long neck because I like to really work my stitches long. Having a short neck bothers me, but some people love it. Some people are like, this is what I like better. And so that is honestly my favorite. Now for an absolute beginner crocheter or somebody starting out in the craft, I would recommend you start with the cheap ones. You start with the boys. You start with those generic Susan Bates that are just like boys. I did a video on crochet hooks. If you'd like to check that out, it has a lot more information on the different varieties of crochet hooks, why different brands have created different styles, what the point is of those different styles. So if you want more information on that, check out my video on crochet hooks. I think it'll answer a lot of your questions. But yeah, I would start there. And then when you figure out what you don't like about it, be like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. That's when you find the other ones that fixed that problem. And be like, oh, I need to try that one next because maybe that one would feel better. You know what I mean? So that's what I recommend. All right. Great question. Liz. Where are you? Where are you? Where is it? Liz, Liz, Liz. Oh, it got corrected. It's Luz, L-U-Z, Maria. Tiff, how about a video on how to block a crochet project? A throw blanket. I recently did a placemat video you did, and you recommended blocking. Oh, I did do a video. So you're in luck. It's already on my channel. I did a video blocking for beginners. So it's even for beginners. So I tried to make it as easy to follow as possible. I show the 3 different techniques using water soak, steam, and squirt bottle. So I show all 3 techniques, and I have it for you. So go ahead and go on my channel, go to videos, and you can either, I think you can search blocking and it'll pop up for you. I only made 1 video on blocking, so it'll pop up for you, or just scroll down, scroll through my videos, and you'll find it. So yay, you're in luck. I have one. All right, Gina. What is the difference between 100% cotton and mercerized cotton yarn? Both are 4-weight. Do I need to use different hook size? Honestly, I've never heard of mercerized cotton yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on this. I'm going to mark. Where are you? Nope. Where can I? Nope. Can I? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that picture. Okay, I saved that picture. So Gina, what I'm going to do is I'm going to research that type of yarn. And next week with my next Tuesday live, I will come back and I will talk more about the different types of cotton and what it is. But I mean, honestly, the size crochet hook is usually connected to the size of the yarn, not necessarily the fiber of the yarn, or at least I don't believe so, unless the yarn is extremely, what's the word? Where it has a lot of grab, friction. If the yarn has a lot of friction, then I might go up a crochet hook size, because then the stitches will be large enough for you to work past the friction a little bit, make it a little easier. But if it's not a friction thing, then it really just connecting the size of the yarn with the size of crochet hook. And I did make a video on that as well. I love when I have videos I can reference back to. I think it's really cool. It's helpful. It's so helpful. And I think that video is called "Which Crochet Hook Do I Use?" And what I did is I used all the different sizes of yarn. I think I started with like a size 2-weight yarn, and I went up to a 6 or a jumbo. I can't remember if I went up to 6 or jumbo size yarn. And I went with the recommended yarn or crochet hook for that yarn. I went up a crochet hook size and did a little swatch, and I went down a crochet hook size and I made a little swatch. So you could see what that yarn size would look worked up with the 3 different crochet hook sizes. And then also seeing what happened in those swatches by changing the crochet hook size, you could understand that if I kept going down, this is what would happen, or if I kept going up, this is what would happen. So that's a great video if you are working with a yarn and you're like, I don't know what crochet hook to use with this size yarn. So definitely check that one out. Again, I think it's called "What Crochet Hook to Use." I think it's a picture. It has a yarn, it has a skein of yarn in it, and it has like a bunch of crochet hooks at the side, like a flower. I'm seeing the thumbnail in my head right now. Great. Next question, Christine. All right. What do you recommend for a border on a waffle stitch blanket? Waffle stitch blanket. So when I think of borders, I instantly think, okay, what's happening on the inner body? If the inner body of a blanket needs to be the star of the show, it has a lot of texture. The stitches are very detailed and intricate, and you're showing off the stitch, or the colors are like, pow, look at this color, it's awesome. Then I let the border be more plain. That way you can focus on the inner body. If the inner body of the blanket is very boring, very plain, very simple, the blanket color may be completely consistent. Maybe it's all beige or all cream or all blue, or, you know, just solid, but nothing pow-y, you know, like bam, nothing like that. Then I'd be like, go crazy with the border and make the border just be awesome, you know, and the border will save that bland, plain blanket and make it look awesome. The waffle stitch, however, is a highly detailed stitch. You got a lot going on there. You have post stitches, weaving, and oh, yeah, you said waffle, not basket. Yeah, waffle. It's still post stitches, but you want people to focus on what's happening on the inner body. So what I would do for a border is I would probably because the waffle stitch has height to it, it's not a flat blanket. It definitely has texture to it. I would probably do a border that was like a plain but like a texture. I might do a post stitch border where it's enough to complement the post stitch on the inside of the body of the blanket, but maybe I would do, ooh, do I have that one out already? Do I have that one out? I don't. I'm like thinking here. Honestly, I think a border that would look really, really pretty would be like a half double crochet or double crochet post stitch border all the way around it. That way you're still getting that post stitch complement, but it's consistently just post stitches. So it still looks kind of plain. So it's not taking anything away from the inner body. I'm like, do I have a tutorial for you on that so I can like show you how to do it? And I'm like, dang it, I don't think I do. But that's something I would do. Or you could even do the border that I just released today. I'm calling it the flowing gold border, but honestly, it's just a super easy blanket border that you can put on a blanket that won't take away too much. That won't take anything away from the main body, but still have a lot of pizzazz, I guess. So I need to make more borders. I need to make more borders. I hope that helps. I think it would be great to have a post stitch in there, but it would need to be a consistent post stitch, not like a post and then regular double, post and regular double, because then you're going to be taking too much attention away from the inner body and it'll start focusing on the border. So I hope that helps. Give you some idea. Bernadette, welcome Bernadette. I'm so glad that you're here and that you've made it this far into the video. All right. Bernadette, hi. I just wanted to say that I love your tutorials. Oh, thank you so much. I've made several blankets and have great feedback. Thank you so very much. My question is that, have you ever used sheepy yarn? I have not. I have not. Though, I think that would make a great blanket, a simple blanket. I'm wondering though with the sheepy part, if that means it's highly texturized, which I'm pretty sure it does. And generally I have not used a lot of texturized yarns in my tutorials, honestly, because it can be difficult to show where to put crochet stitches it can be difficult to show like what to do and how to do it. And you can't really do any intricate designs or patterns when it comes to a highly textured yarn because it just disappears with the yarn. It just, you can't see anything that's going on. So I don't use that very often, though I would love to make just a very simple blanket with a highly texturized yarn to show people, make people feel confident that they can do it and show them that it can make something really pretty. And you asked another question, Bernadette. I have quite a bit that I got on sale, but you're having a hard time working with it. That kind of goes right in line with what I was just saying on why I haven't made a tutorial for it yet, because it'll be hard for me to show people how to do what I want them to do. Any suggestions? Okay, so if I were to work with a highly textured yarn, what I would do is I would probably stick with I like to stick with basic stitches when it comes to a highly textured yarn. That way I can see what I'm doing. You know, I can stick my fingers in between stitches. And that's what I do a lot, is because I'm such a visual person, is when I'm working with it, I have to have my fingers in it and I have to be feeling where the stitches are. And I'll put my fingers between stitches, so I know, oh, there's the stitch. I need to put a stitch on top of that one right there, you know. And if you work a basic stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, treble crochet, then you have that 1-to-1 stitch ratio. When you start messing with other stitches like V stitches, cross stitches, fans, posts, then you run the risk of losing where it is. Now, posts could work. Posts could absolutely work because, again, that's a 1-to-1 stitch ratio stitch. But that's probably where I would stick. I'd use your beautiful yarn. I'd probably use just half double crochet stitches. Okay. I'd make the inner body of a blanket plain. And then what I would do is I would go around that blanket, that beautiful fuzzy sheepy blanket, with a different yarn as a border, and make like a really beautiful, intricate border to go around it. Kind of like I'm thinking the white truffle throw blanket, how it had that really pretty ruffle border. Oh, it was so pretty. Also, to take in consideration, think of the border you want to use before you make the blanket. See if that border has a stitch count requirement, and then make your blanket width and length to match that stitch count requirement of the border, so that way it'll fit really simple, really easy, and you will be able to do that easy peasy. So that's what I'm thinking. Just go something simple in the inner body and make an awesome border. It'll be beautiful and it'll be soft and it'll be awesome. And that's it there. I got 5 more minutes. I think I had one question from somebody on, I think it was either Instagram or Facebook. Let me see if I can grab it. And then I'm going to do my slideshow. Okay, Darlene, I think it was Facebook. And she was talking about, she started making squares and they're curling on the edges. Is that okay? Oh, thank you, Hannah. You gave me one more. If your blanket curls or your squares curl, it's just a tension thing. It's because your stitches are tight and they haven't relaxed. Now, this could be just something that you know, over time, right? I mean, when you first make a stitch, it's tight, it's fresh, and it's just tension. And over time, it'll relax and be fine. Oftentimes, if you want to speed up that process, just block the project, and that'll force the stitches to relax and lay the way you want them to lay. And it's not a big deal. Generally, when things curl, it's easily fixable, really. If it's a blanket, oftentimes either blocking or putting a border on it will fix the curling issue, really. if the curling is really bothering you, try crocheting the same blanket, same stitch with a larger crochet hook to help the tension loosen up a little bit, and that should help. All right, so I'm going to say this is the last question before I get to the slideshow. So Sharanya. All right. Missed the Crafters Gathering and missed you. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I haven't seen you in a while, and I miss you too. I love hanging out with all of you at the Crafters Gathering. It's such a good time. A question: what can I do with bulky weight yarn, which is a blend of acrylic, alpaca, mohair, and 600 yards per cake? Dang, girl. Whew. You got yourself some fun yarn. Wow, and it sounds like it's a big one too. All right, so there's a couple things that you can do there. Because it's alpaca and mohair, it's probably a lay flat to dry, so it's gonna have very picky care instructions. Very picky care instructions. So I would probably either make a blanket, an adult throw blanket, or even a woman's poncho. I think that would be very comfortable, especially going into the fall or winter months. The alpaca is going to be so soft, and the mohair and the acrylic is going to make it just fun to work with. So, and you have 600 yards per cake. Oh my goodness. So I just make a really comfortable poncho that's really big and comfy cozy to cuddle up in, or a really, really nice throw blanket. That is what I would make with that type of yarn. Yeah, that's what I would do. All right. And if anybody else has any other suggestions for Sharanya and her incredibly fun, awesome yarn, feel free to throw that into the chat. I am going to go ahead and quickly, oh, my thing disappeared. So let me bring up the slideshow again. I think when I was having all those difficulties and I was going in and out, it kicked out the slideshow. So let me just pull it up real fast. Uploading. Here we go. Have a great night, Linda. Can't wait to see your blanket, girl. Okay, here we go. Showing off your work. What I have so far. So Anne sent me some amazing pictures. She used what did I call it? That granny square is the granny square on my channel that I created for somebody who had a demo but didn't have a pattern. It was a very, very old something they found in their mother's locked up old projects. And so that granny square is from my channel, and she made a poncho with it, and I think it is awesome. The colors are beautiful. Great job, Anne. Carol, she made my bag in her own colors, but she made her version of my summer beach tote bag, which I think is awesome. Great job. And Heather is the last person on my list for today, and she loaded me up. She was like, I have at least 3 projects on my hook at one time, at all times. She made the Shells and Cords blanket in 3 of these, and then the super colorful one is the rainbow baby blanket that I made a long, long time ago. And she is in the process of making a polar bear beanie. And I think this is super, super awesome. Your colors, your stitches, they're just great and fun. And thank you so much for sharing it with me. All right, and if you have a project that you have just finished or are working on, and you would like to share it with me and allow me to place it in the slideshow for one of my Tuesday lives, I would love to see what you got going on. Just email me or message me on Instagram or Facebook and send me your picture and tell me a little bit about it. I'd love to see it. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love hanging out with you guys. I love answering your questions, spending time with you, and just, yeah, just being able to share some extra behind the scenes with you. And with that, I will see my crafters gatherers tomorrow. And don't forget, 30 minutes. My mystery box giveaway is going live on my channel. So make sure to hang out on YouTube. Don't miss out on that mystery box giveaway. Enter in that because that's going to be awesome. And enjoy this week, guys. I'll see you very soon with the next one. Bye.